Today, we're going to talk all about how to weave effortless dog training into your schedule for busy families like yourself. My name is Pamela Brown with Down for Paws Dog Training. We help busy families like yourself with easy solutions so your training can last a lifetime. So when you reach out for a trainer, you may have a conception in your mind of what training should look like. Ideally, yes. For instance, if you have a puppy or any dog and you're calling them for basic obedience, you are to expect that, yes, they'll learn sit and stay. But where there's a disconnect with families is how do we apply that to our everyday daily life? And so most trainers will teach you how to do that, including myself. But one thing I like to specialize in, because I'm busy, you're busy, is like, how can we tweak that so it's part of your daily schedule? So as I go through some of these tips, think about your schedule and how you can apply this effectively. So first and foremost, like I said, when I go to the family's home, I do a consultation where it's 2 hours long. Yes, it's 2 hours because it's very detailed. And one of the things I ask the family is, what does your day look like? Take me through the journey from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. So that's what I want you to think about. Second of all, if your dog's learning basic obedience, for example, everyday life things that you do, suppose you're teaching your dog sit, stay, or come and things like that, right? For example, you're cooking dinner. One way you can teach the sits is, if I always say, like, you're boiling water or cooking and things like that, you can work on a stage just by simply asking your dog to sit and maybe stay for 5 seconds every single time you're cooking. Or if you're eating, you can ask them for a down stay. Other things I like to do as well is, if you're going out for a walk, having your dog sit. All of these things are things that you have done throughout your day with your dog or you're doing on your own, but you can definitely put 5 or 10 minutes of training in there. One misconception, maybe that's another lie, is you don't have to train your dog or practice for an hour. 5 to 15 minutes, that's it. So we can incorporate it into your schedule. So think about your schedule, think about what you are teaching, trying to teach your dog, and then think about where you can fit it into your schedule where it may seem appropriate. Also, using daily routines for training. I just spoke about that. So turning meal times into training moments. What about homework time to teach your dog to sit quietly? I know I work with a lot of families with children and the dogs are in the playroom stealing toys and things like that. And the mom's like, what do I do? Have the playtime, but maybe you teach leave it. So your dog's engaged in something else to do. Maybe we have them do something else. So think about what you want them to do again, and where about in your day can you apply that? The next one, I'm already getting ahead. Engaging your kids in the training. I just spoke about this. Each kid is going to be different. Working with families, one of the things I specialize in, because everyone wants to do something different with the dog or may think a certain way, I talk to each family member. What do you love doing? What do you like doing? Let me incorporate that. So suppose I'm talking to little Johnny or little Timmy. They like running around playing chase or whatever it may be. I'll teach them freeze tag. What does that mean? They run and stop, and the dog learns to sit. Also, what that teaches your dog is not to jump on your kids when they're running around, and when they stop, that means they don't jump. So there's all little tricks right there that you can teach that doesn't seem like training. And definitely with kids, you kind of have to trick them into thinking that they're having fun and not training. I always like to make training fun. Also, solving common issues. I talked about this a little bit earlier. Picture the scenario where your dog needs the most help. Maybe they're jumping on guests, you're feeling overwhelmed. So you can use these simple strategies to address these issues. If they're jumping on guests, you can, have them sit, stay. One of the things I do like doing, just to show you how to simply implement that, I talk to my families about, you do have to answer the door, right? Most of the time we're like, oh, dog, get down, don't do that. Don't worry about the person. You usually know them. I always say, let's focus on recall, calling the dog away and giving them a reward. Over time, what happens? The dog doesn't care about the person at the door. They're like, where's my treat? And so then it doesn't really feel like training for you. It's just part of what you do. And then over time, that's another lie. You'll just feed out the treats. But those are some tips to incorporate training into your day if you're busy, so that it doesn't seem like too much. And remember, one of the things that I hear from families, like, especially when I show like, oh, didn't have time to train or the dog regress, that's okay. That is life. We all start something and we're good and we practice. And then next thing you know, it's like, we kind of fall off. But it doesn't mean that we don't know the skill. We wasn't taught it. Your dog just needs a refresher, get, the training back into that daily routine. As always, if you're hearing all these tips and you're like, I don't know how to get started, you can reach out. I want to hear, you can drop it in the comments. I want to hear some of your success stories or hear what you're struggling with and your thoughts behind this. But as always, I will be back next week with another great topic, but just drop those questions into the comments. All right. Bye.